for fourth here, the big fella, Jack Silver.
Let's have a look at number 2 then, Dictator. His last run was pretty good. It was 1,200 metres. He was going to that journey for the first time, and he began well, and he surged the lead off the back. Straight in the end, he was run over, but run over by a pretty good type, good striker.
Yeah, and there was a good form race, and also the horse that finished third in that race was Teen Angel, and we know she's pretty smart. And he did win his restricted maiden by 10 lengths. 10 1/4 on the poly track, so he's pretty smart, Dictator. As you see, he's a lightly framed horse, but does look nice and healthy in the coat. Good to see that he has put on 7 kilos in body weight, because he's pretty light behind the saddle. That's why I think the Marstab will just space his runs, because I don't think he can handle a lot of hard racing, but looks good enough in condition, looks forward enough, fit, ready to go, and looks well prepared. Drawn a good barrier here, and should take a lot of beating.
Owned by the Lansdown 9 stable, Andrew. It looks like they've all come from the office. The boys are out there in their suits, and they've got their satchels.
Yeah,
They've come straight from work, I'd say.
It's a massive crowd here supporting Dictator here tonight in the parade ring.
They'll be throwing their biros at him if he gets beaten. Fantastic jaw here for Vlad Jurek. He's at $14. I think that's, well, it's not value, but I thought these two would be a little bit closer in the market.
Yeah, and I think there will be some good support for Fantastic Jaw later, Craig, when we get closer to a start, because they look the two clear betting horses here, but currently at 14 at the moment, Fantastic Jaw, and he's a lovely type of horse. He's down 2 kilos in body weight. He's more of a different type horse to Dictator. He's more of a robust, strong type. On looks, he's a nicer type of horse. I think he will go further here, Fantastic Jaw, because he's got a lot of condition to work with here. Drawn beautifully here in gate number 3. Impressive on debut, has worked well since, and I think he's the testing material to the big favourite.
Let's move on, have a look at Dragon Prince. He has won on the poly track. He's a promising little horse in actual fact. His last run, 1,400 metres on the turf, was terrific.
Yeah, and he's, most of his runs have been pretty good since starting his racing career, and I think he's one you've got to put in for the placings here for your exotic bets. Down 6 kilos, the grey horse, and likes the surface. Might be a little bit sharp for him, but I think he'll be running on somewhere at the finish. And one to include here, Dragon Prince.
Number 5 is That's the One. He won his maiden on the poly track back in March of this year. He's only had 2 subsequent runs, and he's just been battling a little bit behind the speed in both of his efforts since his maiden win. Yeah,
just thought a small chance here. That's the one. He likes the surface, and I would have preferred if he had a blinkers. He's got the winkers on here to ensure he's nice and sharp. He likes the poly track, and gate 2 is a help for his chances.
My Ninja, number 6, has campaigned up to 1,600 metres. He's been placed a couple of times over the mile, so he might just find the 1,100 metres a little bit too sharp for him.
Yeah, he's just, since he's arrived, he's run a couple of good placings, but hasn't really gone on with it yet, Craig. And, when he can turn up, probably something a bit easy. He hasn't won a race, and off his rating of 44, I couldn't see him winning it. Probably prefer when he can drop a bit and get into a Class 5 race. Not tonight for My Ninja.
Let's move on to the newcomer, number 7, Enact by Keeper. First barrier trial here in Singapore was very good, showed good acceleration, travelled strongly, but his subsequent 2 trials I think have only been pretty average. Yeah,
his first time was, the first trial was probably in a little bit moderate time, around the 63 seconds, and they put him in against a couple of smart ones, and they sorted him out, and I think he'll need a bit of time, Craig. I couldn't entertain him here.
Golden Fashion, just the one start, showed a bit of speed, was up there on the pace, but that was back in March. He's had two barrier trials since then, and he was placed in one of them, but not doing enough.
No, and he was a little bit playing up when they were trying to saddle him here in the yard, and he's a little bit highly strung even at Beezy's. So they're trying the Sice is trying to just sort of keep him under control. He's got a bit of a temperament at the moment. Golden Fashion needs to settle down, a bit more racing. He doesn't look ready yet.
Sice has got a bit of attitude too, with the baseball cap on the wrong way around. Golden Fashion. As we move on to Sky Regalia, it's only had the 2 race starts. Obviously there's some problems with this guy. He raced in October of last year and then January of this year. He's had 2 recent barrier trials, but they haven't been much.
Yeah, I think this is not a totally suitable race. I think it needs to be in a maiden, and maybe he can pick up one. I think he's going all right, but I just thought this race would be too tough for him and needs to be in something easier.
Has put on a bit of beef since his last start. He's up to 453, only a relatively small horse, as we see him go through the tunnel here for the running of race number 6, the Novice. Definitely between the 2 and the 3. Gave a little chance to number 4 Dragon Prince and also My Ninja. That's the 1, but certainly the 2 and the 3, the punters pretty well hope this sorted out. But I'm going to go with Fantastic Jaw, the second favourite. I'm going to mark them as 3, 2, 4 and 6. Fantastic Jaw from Dictator, Dragon Prince and My Ninja. So 3, 2, 4 and 6 for me.
Okay, Craig, I'm going to go numbers 3, 2, 4, and I'll put number 1 Jack Silver as my value runner to spice up the quartet here, and he's currently at 249, so if he happens to lob into 4th here for the quartet players, he might spice it up for you. But it's the 3 or the 2, as you can see, we think it's 3 or 2. The Chinese telecast gone the other way, 2 or 3. Looks a very popular forecast here though, but yeah, it's going to be a good contest. This has been one of the good little match races that we've been waiting for tonight.
Let's hope it turns out that way. Michael, we generally build these up as a match race and something horrible happens. Let's hope it's a good contest between the 3 and the 2. Which way did you go?
Went with number 3, Fantastic Jaw over Dictator. They're drawn pretty close together, and yeah, I can see them fighting the finish out here. I think Dictator will go to the lead, and Fantastic Jaw might sit outside him or just sit 3/4 of a length back behind him. With Dictator, he's just going to need to switch off a little bit here. He's drawn barrier 1, so he's compelled to, take the lead here, and if he's got to dig him up a little bit, there is a chance he could over-race, but he's very good. We saw him at his first start over the 1100 metres, win by 10 lengths and break 1.5. He went 1.4.9. A repetition of that will see him win this, but I just think Fantastic Jaw is going to bear down on him here. The blinkers are going on Fantastic Jaw. His trials on the poly have all been very good, and he's 1200 back to the 1100, so he's going to be very strong at the end. So just giving him the edge, 3 over the 2. A very popular forecast, I feel. Thought that's the one. Number 5 might have a chance to hold on and get 3rd, and 4 Dragon Prince. The 1100 is a bit short of his best Dragon Prince, but gets fairly thin thereafter. So 3 to beat 2, 5 and 4 in a very, very good novice.
About 4.5 minutes away from a start here. The poly track now 30 degrees. Started off the program at 32, so it's just cooled off a fraction. The poly track as we bear down on race number 6 of the evening. Good win by Decimus in the previous, Andrew, and Stephen Gray's got a good chance of going home with 3 winners. I mentioned to him Fantastic Jaw and also Kalash a little bit later on. Yeah, I thought at the start of the night on paper it looked like a night where he could get a couple of winners. Obviously needed a little bit of luck, and he had Capati go around early, but his run was still good to finish 2nd. But he was able to win the previous race with Decimus. It was a nice victory by him too. It was a good race the previous race, and Stephen Gray has a good chance here with Fantastic Jaw. But race goers are sticking solid here with Dictator, and with the big crowd in attendance here for the Lansdown 9 racing stable. He looks like he's going to remain pretty solid. There was a fair few people in the yard to have a look at him, and I'm sure they'll be going to the tote window to have an investment on him. Yeah, well, those satchels coming straight from work, the officers, they're all well presented. Mainly expatriate people by the looks of it. I thought they might have had their work going home for the weekend, but it might have been full of money to go to the tote window. Yeah, and he's even money now, and $12 for Fantastic Jaw. So they're the 2 that race goers want. I think it's the longer odds. We got to 44 for Dragon Prince. I had him in there for 3rd. And most of the others at longer odds. We have $77 for That's the One, who's won on the poly track before, and triple figure odds for the rest. Big weekend coming up next weekend, Andrew. We race here on Friday night, and then back for the Patrons Bowl, the middle leg of the 4-year-old challenge. Should be a beauty, $500,000 race over the mile. So looking forward to that next Sunday week. So we're 9 days away. Yeah, second leg of the 4-year-old series. There's the first leg being taken out by Gozy. He'll obviously be lining up in the Patrons Bowl, and we didn't have a big field for the first leg of the 4-year-old, the Stewards Cup, but I think there'll be full nominations for the Patrons Bowl, because it is getting to the second leg and heading towards the Darwin. It's over the mile, and there's that good price
prize money tag there to lure